Okay, students, we'll continue up the concept of the motion in a straight line. Look at this problem. We'll continue up the concept of the motion in a straight line. Look at this problem. Yeah, look at this problem. If a car at rest accelerates uniformly to a speed. What is the rest meaning? Initial speed will be 0. It is increased to what speed? Initial speed will be 0 and the final speed is initial speed will be 0. The final speed is given 144 kilometer per hour. How to convert this into meter per second, students? You have to multiply by 5 by 18. Tell me what is that value? Hello. So 144 into 5 by 18. So it is close to 40 meter per second. And it covers a distance of how much? In what time they're asking? 20 seconds. So first you have to find the acceleration without finding the distance covered. So V is equal to U plus 80. So V will be equal to 40. U is 0. Acceleration you have to find, the time taken is 20. So acceleration will be 40 by 20, that is equal to 2. So acceleration is 2 meter per second square. For this acceleration, how to calculate the distance covered? You can use the formula ut plus what? Of 80 squared. This is equal to ut plus of 80 squared. What is u? 0 plus of into what is a? 2. T squared value will be 20 squared. So this 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So distance will be equal to 20 squared is 400 meter. So the distance covered is 400 meter. So in the last class, actually, we have not converted this kilometer per hour into meter per second. So we got the clumsy in that particular step. So what is the distance covered? It is 400 meter. Yeah, look at this. A body is dropped from certain height. With what height the body is dropped? H. Let us consider a height. Height is H. It is dropped from particular this thing. U is 0. Height is H. Now, it strikes the ground with what speed? 3 meter per second. It strikes the ground with what speed? 3 meter per second. So you know that the velocity is equal to root of 2 times of gh. This implies velocity is 3 root of 2 into 10 into h. So 3 will be equal to root of 20 into h. Squaring on both the sides, so it becomes 3 square. So this implies h value will be equal to 9 by 20 meter. Now, another body of the same mass dropped from the same height with initial velocity 4 meter per second. It is thrown with what initial speed? 4 meter per second. And now it is going to strike with what velocity they are asking. Now you found the height value as 9 by 20 meter, students. So to find this velocity, v squared is equal to u squared plus 2gh. So v squared equals to 4 squared because initial speed is given, that is 4 meter per second. That is 4 squared. You can write it here 4 squared plus 2 into g value is minus 10. Height coming down, so minus 9 by 20. So v squared value will be equal to 4 squared will be 16 plus 2 into 10, 20. 20 will get cancelled out. So v squared value will be equal to 25. So v will be equal to 5 meter per second. So with what velocity it is reaching the ground? 5 meter per second. Yeah. Look at this. The velocity of train increases uniformly with what speed? 20 kilometer per hour and final speed as 60 kilometer per hour. It is going to be in a time of 4 hours. What is the distance traveled by the train during this time period? Convert this in terms of kilometer to meter per second. No need, because both the velocity initial and final are in CJ system, kilometer per hour, and the time is also in hour. So better you keep the same thing. Whatever the distance you're going to get, you can keep that in terms of kilometer. So how to calculate this? Without finding the acceleration, you can't find s. So what's the formula? You can use it here. V is equal to u plus at, isn't it? What is v? 60. What is u? 20. Plus acceleration into time. Time is 4. So 60 minus 20 will be 40. 40 equals to 4a. So a equals to 40 by 4, that is 10 meter per second square. So what is the acceleration? 10 meter per second square. Now, to find the distance covered, you can use the formula s is equal to ut plus half at square. So s is equal to initial speed is 20. The time taken is 4 plus half into acceleration, that is 10 into t squared, that is 4 square. So s is equal to 20 into 4 will be 80 plus 10 by 2 will be 5. 4 squared will be 16. So s is equal to 80 plus what is 16 into 5? 80. So what is the distance covered? 80 plus 80 will be 160 meter. So what is the distance covered? 160 meter. So this is how we are going to analyze the final speed and the initial speed. Both are in kilometer per hour and the time is in hour. So no need to convert anything in meter per second. You can directly find what is the distance, and whatever the final answer you are getting, that should be get it in kilometer, not in meter. So whatever the unit I have written here, it should not written in SI system. Why it should not be written in SI system, students? because we have not converted anything here. So it should be converted in terms of what? Expressed value. So in what unit they have expressed? They have expressed in kilometer. So please be careful. Even though the distance is in meter, don't express this in meter. You have to put this unit in terms of kilometer. Why kilometer? Because the unit, the data which is defined, that is in kilometer. So it is going to be 160 kilometer. Don't get confused. Don't finally tell the distance in meter. Actually, no doubt the SI unit for the distance is meter. But in the unit, in the given data, all the units are represented in kilometer. Therefore, the distance traveled must be 160 kilometer. Yeah, instantaneous, we can take it later. Yeah. Look at this problem. A body starts from rest. When a body starts from rest means, what is the initial speed? 0. What is the ratio of the distance traveled? What is the ratio of the distance traveled during the 4th and the 3rd second? Distance traveled in the 4th second to the distance traveled in the 3rd second. This ratio they are expecting. Distance traveled in the 4th second to the distance traveled in the 3rd second. So distance traveled in the nth second is given by the formula Sn is equal to u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. So this is the formula what you have studied to find the distance traveled in the nth second. Now first you calculate what is the distance traveled in the 4th second. Distance traveled in the 4th second. Initial speed is 0, right? Initial speed is 0. Now you can take out the ratio directly. Distance traveled in the 4th second to the 3rd second. So what is the distance traveled in the 4th second? I'll keep a by 2 as it is. 2n minus 1. So 2 into n is 4. 2 into 4 minus 1. So similarly, distance traveled in the 3rd second, a by 2 into 2 into 3 minus 1. So what happens to a by 2 and a by 2? Cancel out. So this is equal to 2 into 4 will be 8 minus 1 divided by 6 minus 1, which is nothing but 7 divided by 5. So what is the distance traveled in the 4th second to the distance traveled in the 3rd second? It is the ratio of 7 is to 5, 7 by 5. So option A is the right answer. Option A is the right answer. Yeah, coming to the next problem. Coming to the next problem. A body is dropped from the top of a tower. It falls through 40 meters during the last 2 seconds of its fall. During the last 2 seconds of its fall, it covers a distance of 40 meters. Now they are expecting you to find what is the height of the tower. Now, since the object is dropped from certain top of the tower, the initial speed value will be equal to 0. Initial speed will be 0. Now, this object is going to be dropped down. It is just going to be dropped down with what height? 40 meter. But that 40 meter is the height. Let it be h dash. 40 meter. This 40 meter is traveled for what time? 2 seconds. For 2 seconds. Now, we don't know what height is there here. Let it be this height will be x and the total height of the tower is h. What is the total height of the tower? H. The total time taken from here to here, from A to B. The total time taken from A to B is t seconds. What is the total time taken from A to C then? The distance traveled from A to C must be T minus 2 seconds, no? Why 2 minus 2 seconds? Because in the last 2 seconds, they have traveled a distance of how much? 40 meter. They have traveled a distance of 40 meter. Yeah. First, let me write the equation for A to B. But our intention is to find H, the total height of the tower. The total height of the tower. Simplify, students. How to simplify? Yeah. How to find the height of the tower? Let me write the equation for A to B first. Which equation you can write? General equation S is equal to ut plus half at squared, or I can take it as half gt squared. What is the distance here for A to B? A to B, the distance covered is h. What is ut? Ut value will be 0 because it is coming from u. So it is 0 plus half times of g. G is 10. So it will become 5 into t square. 5t square. So what is height total? Total height is 5t squared. This is one equation. Coming to A to C. Coming to A to C. For A to C, what is the distance covered? X, which is equal to ut. So u value will be 0. Half gt squared. Half gt squared means half into g is 5, right? Into t squared. What is t squared? The time taken is t minus 2 whole squared, isn't it? T minus 2 whole squared. So x is equal to 5 into t squared plus 4 minus 2. 2s are 4t. I am just using a minus b whole squared format. So x is equal to 5t squared plus 5 into 4, 20 minus 20t. This is one equation for x. Now, can you write the equation x value here? In the diagram, you can have h is equal to x plus h dash. But what is h dash? H dash is 40 meter they have given. So x is equal to what? H minus 40. So in the place of x, I can substitute what? H minus 40, which is equal to 5t squared plus 20 minus 20t. But what is h? H is 5t squared, right? So h is 5t squared minus 40. which is equal to 5t squared plus 20 minus 20t. So 5t squared will get cancelled out. So you can shift this 20t to this side. So it becomes plus 20t. If I shift minus 40 to that side, it becomes plus 40. So 40 plus 20 value will be 60. So this implies t value will be equal to 60 by 20, that is 3 seconds. So what is the time? Time is 3 seconds. Yeah. Time is 3 seconds. So h is equal to 5t square. So h is equal to 5 into t squared. T squared is 3 squared. So h is equal to 5 into what is 3 squared? 9. What is 9 into 5? 45 meter. So what is the total height of the tower, students? The total height of the tower is 45 meter. So option D is the right answer. So students, please be very careful how we are simplifying here. This is one of the previous year NEET problem. This problem was asked in the previous competitive exams. Yeah. Look at this. A car moves a distance of how much? 200 meter. So let us assume the car is at A. Now the car which is at A is moving towards the another point. It is moving towards this point. Let it be B. What is the distance covered? 200 meter. The distance covered is 200 meter. What they are talking, it covers first half of the distance at what speed? First half of the distance. First half of the distance means 100 meter. It covers with what speed? Let it be V1, that is 40 kilometer per hour. Now they are asking you to find the speed with which the second half is traveling. Second half is traveling with speed V. That it be V2, that is V. They are asking you to find this V. Now they are asking that the average speed for this, the average speed of this is 48 kilometer per hour. Average speed is 48 kilometer per hour. Yes, students. To find the average speed, I have given one formula. Have you remembered? If the body covers equal distances, if the body covers equal distances, if the body covers equal distances, its average speed is given by the formula 2v1 v2 divided by v1 plus v2. So please remember, what's the formula for the average speed? 2v1 v2 divided by v1 plus v2, isn't it? Now, can you find what is v2 by just substituting? How much you will get? What is average speed V bar? It is 48. 2 times of V1, V1 is 40 into V2, you have to calculate V. V1 is 40 plus V. So 48 equals to, or you can cancel out 2 ones are 2 into 24 are. Okay. Now even you can cancel, I think 4 into 6, 4 6 are 24, or 8 3s are 24, 8 5s are 40. So what is remaining? 3 is equal to 5 into V divided by 40 plus V. Now you do the cross multiplication. 3 into 40 will be 120 plus 3 into V will be 3V, which is equal to 5 times of V. So 120 is equal to 5V minus 3V. So 120 is equal to 2 times of V. So V will be equal to 120 by 2, that is 60. 60 meter per second, but don't write 60 meter per second because all the units are expressed in kilometer per hour. Kilometer per hour. So no need of writing meter per second. Then what should you have to write? It should be represented with kilometer per hour only. Students, I'm stressing this. Whenever the problem is talking in terms of kilometer per hour, and if it is not expressed in meter per second, please put the same unit. So the same unit is kilometer per hour. So what will be the option? Option B is the right answer. That is 60 kilometer per hour. Yeah. This is very important, students. Now the bus is traveling first 1/3 of the distance with 10 kilometer per hour. For example, if I say A is the initial point, B is the final point, this is 1/3 distance, this is the another third distance. This is 1/3, this is 1/3, this is 1/3. But it is equally divided into how many intervals? 3 equal distances they have made. 3 equal distances. For the first 1/3 of the distance, the speed is 10 kilometer per hour. Remember, unit is in kilometer per hour. The second 1/3 is moving with 20 kilometer per hour. The last 1/3 is moving with the speed 60 kilometer per hour. So V1, V2, V3. So for equal distances, please remember what is the average speed we have written? It is 2V1, V2 by V1 plus V2, isn't it? But this is holds good for 2 equal distances. For 2 equal distances. Similarly, if you are taking the average speed if you are taking for the 3 equal intervals, for the 3 equal distances, remember the formula, it is 3V1, V2, V3 whole thing divided by V1, V2 plus V2, V3 plus V3, V1. So what is the average speed formula? 3 times of V1, V2, V3 divided by V1, V2 plus V2, V3 plus V3, V1. So this is for 3 equal distances. For 3 equal distances, what is the formula we have to find the average distance? You can use the formula 3 times of V1, V2, V3 whole thing divided by V1, V2 plus V2, V3 plus V3, V1. So average speed value will be equal to 3 times of what is V1? V1 is 10, isn't it? Into V2 is 20 into 60 whole thing divided by V1, V2, that is 10 into 20 plus V2, V3, that is 20 into 60 plus V3, V1, that is 60 into 10. So average speed V bar will be equal to 3 into 10 into 20 into 60. 3 into 2 will be 6. 6 into 6 will be 36. 3 zeros. Whole thing divided by 10 into 20 value will be 200. 2 into 6 will be 1200 plus 600. So V bar is equal to 36,000. Whole thing divided by 200 plus 1200, that is 1400 plus 600, that is 2000. So three zeros will get cancelled out. So V bar will be equal to 36 by 2. 36 by 2 will be 18 kilometer per hour. So what is the average speed? 18 kilometer per hour. That is option C is the right answer. Option C is the right answer. 18 kilometer per hour. Students, here you have to be very careful. The distances is not divided to equal parts. It is divided into 3 equal parts. For 3 equal parts, the total distance covered will be equal to 3 equal parts, means the average speed is given by the formula 3v1 v2 v3 divided by v1 v2 plus v2 v3 plus v3 v1. So that is 18 kilometer per hour. Yeah. I hope you can do this, because first off is covering with what distance? 40 kilometer per hour. Other off is dividing with what speed? 60 kilometer per hour. Since it is two equal distances, its average speed is given by the formula 2v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. So average speed value will be equal to 2 times of v1 is 40, v2 is 60 divided by 40 plus 60. So v bar is equal to 2 into 4, 8, 8 into 6, 48, right? So 4,800 divided by 100. So 2 zeros will get cancelled out. So V bar will be equal to 48 and unit is in kilometer per hour. So it will be in kilometer per hour. So the answer should be option B, 48 kilometer per hour. Now, what will be the distance moved by the freely falling body? Freely falling body will be means u will be 0. What is the distance traveled in the 4th to 5th second? Now, you know that the distance traveled in the nth second is given by u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1, isn't it? Initial speed value will be 0 because it is just freely falling. So distance traveled in the nth second is given by a by 2 into 2n minus 1. Since it is moving with the freely falling, a should be equal to g and it is constant. So you can assume the distance traveled in the nth second is directly proportional to 2n minus 1. 2n minus 1. So distance traveled in the 4th second to the distance traveled in the 5th second must be equal to what? Must be equal to what? Distance traveled in the 4th second is nothing but 2n minus 1. So that is 2 into 4 minus 1. Whole thing divided by 2 into 5 minus 1. So 2 into 4 will be 8 minus 1 or 10 minus 1. That is 8 minus 1 is 7. 10 minus 1 is 9. So the ratio must be 7 is to 9. So option B is the right answer. 7 is to 9. So which is the right option? Option B is the right answer. Now, before going to the problems based on calculation part, students, let me brief about the differentiation, the calculus part. After giving some basic formulas, I'm going to analyze that. Now, before going to the problems based on yes, student, while we are discussing the concept of the velocity, instantaneous, and all those things, we have studied that the velocity is nothing but the rate of change of displacement, that is v is equal to dx by dt. Similarly, acceleration, we got it like dv by dt, isn't it? Okay. Now, how to solve this calculus concept, how to solve this differentiation and all those things. For this, you have to remember some formulas of mathematics. What is that? Actually, in the differentiation part, please remember, if I give the function x is equal to t power n, what is the differentiation of t power n? That is differentiation of x with respect to time. With respect to time, we are differentiating. So dx by dt is nothing but n times of t power n minus 1. What is dx by dt? N into t power n minus 1. This is dx by dt. You know that dx by dt is nothing but the velocity. Now, let us take some few examples, students. If I give x is equal to t power 4, can you tell me what is dx by dt? Yeah, the formula tells n into t power n minus 1. So, what is the differentiation of t power 4? It is 4 into t power 4 minus 1. That is 4 into t power 3. So, dx by dt value will be 4 into t cube. 4 into t cube. Similarly, if I give x is equal to constant, if x is equal to constant, please remember the differentiation of dx by dt is 0. What is the differentiation of x with respect to time? 0. If x is constant, dx by dt value will be 0. If x is constant, what is dx by dt? 0. If I say x is equal to 4, what is dx by dt? 4 is purely constant, right? For constant term, dx by dt value will be 0. So this is the second formula. The third formula. If I say x is equal to 1 by t power n. Now it is in the reciprocal t power n. So how to differentiate this? It is minus n. You have to write the same power. Whatever the power is there, you have to write that in the numerator. Minus n whole thing divided by t power n plus 1. So what is dx by dt, students? Dx by dt is nothing but minus n divided by t power n plus 1. So dx by dt equals to minus n divided by t power n plus 1. Yeah. Look at this example, students. If I say x is equal to 1 by t squared, how to differentiate this with respect to time? Dx by dt is equal to minus 2 divided by t power 3. So dx by dt is equal to minus 2 whole thing divided by t power 3. So this is how we are differentiating with respect to the time. So this are the differentiation formula you have to remember, students, to solve the concept of calculus part. Yeah. Look at this. Now the displacement x, is varying in one dimension, that is related with like this. T is equal to root x plus 3. Now they're asking you to find the displacement of the particle x. They're asking x, the displacement of the particle. When you have to find the displacement of the particle when the velocity is 0. They're asking you to find the displacement of the particle when the velocity is 0. So t equals to root x plus 3. What is root x from this? T minus 3. Now squaring on both the side. Squaring on both the side. So square of root x whole square will be x, which is equal to t minus 3 whole square. Yeah. Now you know that by the definition, you know that the velocity is given by dx by dt. What's the definition of the velocity? Dx by dt. But that given that the dx velocity term is 0, so velocity is 0, which is equal to what is dx by dt? That is the differentiation of t minus 3 whole square. That is 2 times of t minus 3. So t minus 3 whole square derivative will be 2 times of t minus 3. This implies t minus 3 is equal to 0. Or you can say t equals to 3 seconds. So what is the time, students? The time taken is equal to 3 seconds. But the problem is they are not asking you to find the time. They are asking you to find what is the distance covered, the displacement x. Therefore, consider x is equal to t minus 3 whole squared. So x is equal to, what is t you got? T you got it as 3. So 3 minus 3 whole squared. So x is equal to 3 minus 3 will be 0, 0 squared. So what is the distance covered? 0 meter. So option B is the right answer. So what is the displacement? 0 meter. What is the conclusion, students? If the displacement is 0, what is the meaning? Yes, the particle started from particular point called initial point. After traveling, the final point is coming back to the same initial point. So initial and final point are coinciding. Then only the displacement is going to be 0. So the displacement will be 0. Yeah. The motion of a particle in a straight line is described by this equation. X is equal to 8 plus 12t minus t cube, where x is in meter and t is in second. What is the retardation of the particle? Retardation means you have to find the acceleration, but you should get negative. Negative acceleration is called the retardation. And velocity becomes what? 0. Velocity becomes what? 0. Yeah. Now, by the definition, Velocity is nothing but what? Velocity is nothing but dx by dt. Velocity is nothing but what? Dx by dt. So v is equal to, what is the differentiation of 8? 0 plus, what is the differentiation of 12t? 12 minus, because t power 1, no. What is the differentiation of t power 1? 1. So what is the differentiation of t cube? Differentiation of t cube is 3t square. Differentiation of t cube is 3t square. So velocity is equal to 12 minus 3t squared. This is velocity. But they have given that the velocity becomes 0. Given velocity is what? 0. So this implies 0 equals to 12 minus 3t squared, or 3t squared value will be equal to 12. T squared equals to 12 by 3 is 4. T equals to 2 seconds. So what is the time? 2 seconds. Yeah. But they are asking you to find the acceleration. By the definition, how to find the acceleration? You know that it is rate of change of velocity, that is a is equal to dv by dt, isn't it? A is equal to what? dv by dt. So how to differentiate this? Differentiation of 12 is 0. Differentiation of 12 is 0 minus differentiation of 3t squared is 60. This 3 into 2, 60. So acceleration is minus 6 into t, which is equal to minus 6 into. What is the time? What is the time we got? Time is 2 seconds. So time will be 2 seconds. This implies acceleration will be minus 2 into 6, that is 12 meter per second squared. So what is the acceleration? Minus 12 meter per second squared. So what is the retardation, students? 12 meter per second squared. That negative sign tells it is a retardation. It is a retardation. Yeah. Look at this. What is the position equation they have given? The position of the particle keeps on changing. That x is given as 90 squared minus t cube, where x is in meter, time is in second. Now they are asking you to find what will be the position of this particle. X is equal to question mark. Position of this particle when it achieves maximum speed. Maximum speed. For maximum speed means, please remember, for maximum speed means a should be equal to 0. For maximum speed, acceleration must be 0. By the definition, students, you know that v is equal to what? dx by dt. So velocity is, what is the differentiation of 90 squared? It is 18t minus, what is the differentiation of t cube? It is 3t squared. Now, by the definition, a is equal to dv by dt. Acceleration is dv by dt. So A is equal to, what is dv by dt? 18t differentiation is 18. 3t square differentiation is 60. They have given that acceleration is 0 because if the speed is maximum, then we can equate dv by dt as 0. So if any function is maximum or a minimum, the first derivative of that function is 0. So if speed is maximum, then the first derivative of the speed must be 0. So dv by dt is 0. So what is dv by dt? Acceleration. So acceleration is 0. So acceleration is 0, which is equal to 18 minus 60. So this clearly tells 60 is equal to 18. T is equal to 18 by 6. That is 3 seconds. So what is the time? 3 seconds. If time is 3 seconds, how to find the value of the x? But they're asking you to find the position, right? To find the position x for this interval of time, use this equation. X is equal to 90 squared minus t cube. So x is equal to 9 into 3 squared minus 3 cube. So x is equal to 3 squared will be 9. 9 into 9 will be 81 minus 3 cube will be 27. What is 81 minus 27? That will be the position of the particle. So much. It is 81 minus 27 is 11 minus 7 is 4. So 7 minus 2 will be 54. So 54 meter is the position of the particle when the velocity is maximum. So when the velocity is maximum, the distance, the position of the particle is 54 meter. So these are the problems on velocity and acceleration with a variable which is called instantaneous velocity and acceleration, students. Still one more class is required to solve the problems on this instantaneous and accelerations. So let me continue those problems in the next session. For this class, I'm going to end it up now. Thank you, students.